Okay, there it goes. I don't know why that happens. Like if I mess with my settings for Discord, it seems to mess up other programs. I was gonna work on making a clip real quick for like social media. Do I have already these connected? Oh no, I don't. Okay. So I'm gonna work on making these clips. I can just download that. Let's see. And again, I like using Clipchamp, so I've got YouTube open now. YouTube's definitely had some issues. I need to figure out, I need to better support like the YouTube side. Because it does not, it's probably not great from that side. We just get something started here, and then I need to post more on social media. You know what? Hold on. Let's see. I think what I can do is I'm gonna grab a template. What I don't like, oh, here it is. The side. So I'm gonna make it vertical. Do something like that. Let me pause the music. I don't know if there's audio here. It's not. I'm gonna zoom in that a little bit. I like having the frames, but you can't even see that. Alright, so not that one. Maybe this one? like it, but I don't like it. Let's just add some shapes. I'm gonna add some shapes here to block out the bottom and top. Wish there was a way to just extend this. If I could just double click it and it'll just extend all the way. How's that like? I'll make the top black. What's that color? I'm just gonna make that black. I think with TikTok, like, there's a lot of text at the bottom, so actually, maybe the bottom should be black, and the top would be grayish. You like to find like a template that will just cut those things off. See. I don't think this guy has a name yet. Why won't you move? Create this. up. Say maybe that's just how this is. That's like too low. There's gotta be some way I can fix that. What I want to do. Okay, we'll keep it like that for now. Hold on. Fix this. I think these I can move around anywhere. Did I press like a button where I can't like change the size of anything anymore? Oh, I can change these, but I can't change this one. Maybe what I'll do is Koitsugi. I gotta spell this right. Pretty sure it's Koitsugi. Right. That's what I'm gonna do. Wish I can like hide this stuff just so I can see. I see. I'll drop this to the bottom. Here, grab this guy. I need to do the blur fill, I think it's called. And I crop it. I can't like zoom out here. I like this cool little filter. But let me see. I'll just delete these, whatever. So I think I just put this in front. Oh, you know what? It's gonna blur it. This doesn't crop it. Okay, let me turn off that blur. I'm gonna do something like that. That looks crazy. But the font's like too large. Text styles, 2 lines, caption, special. Yeah, it's just. Oh no. It doesn't keep looping, that's kind of weird. It only plays for like 5 seconds. That's lame. See, but how do we make our own effects like that? That's what Clipchamp's gotta do. I like it, but use like the credits or something. I just like it because it's like there's so many effects that I can just drag and drop. So I can control the size here, font. We'll just type. And just copy that a bunch of times, I guess. Oh, I see. I see. I think it does loop it. Oh, I see. I thought loop. Let's see. Let me switch that around. It's there. You know, I think I'm gonna make this center too. Shorten that up. Make this bigger. Yeah, I don't like it. Let me see. It's that first. Maybe I can leave it blank. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just don't like it. Let's keep it simple. That's why I like this one. But I can't change the size, so I don't know. I don't know what to do. Just want some kind of background there. Anyone who does that. View. Yo, Dead Flame, sorry, I didn't see you. Yeah, I was trying to like get the um I was trying to get YouTube and Twitch to look the same, and then I was trying to figure out like what's going on with um let's snooze those ads. Um how to get the chats between the two, because I know Restream was able to do it, but the Stream Elements Live, I can't get it to work. So I'm not sure why. But yeah, so I was trying to find templates, overlays that worked for both, but I couldn't find any. I don't know why. That doesn't make any sense. Like, just create the same overlay and upload it to both. And I might have to just, I don't know how I could do that without having my own custom art. Yeah, like, so I don't know. I don't know if you've seen other people's streams, but Restream will post both chats. So, like, if someone's chatting in YouTube and someone's chatting in Twitch, it'll post them both in the chat box on stream. You can see, like, I have that little chat box window, so everyone can see. Like, if someone says something in YouTube, the Twitch people can read it and respond, and vice versa, right? So you can do that in Restream. I haven't figured out how to do it in Stream Elements. And then, yeah, I just got tired of messing with the different ones. Like, I think some of my stuff on YouTube is like Easter themed. This one is like pixel themed. You've never seen that? Yeah, anyone who streams uses Restream, they'll do it. But there's also been a lot of debate about Twitch was like, no, you can't restream if you're an affiliate. Um, you can't restream to other platforms. If you're a partner, you can't restream. But they've stopped that. They've said you can restream to other platforms. But I know, and I think YouTube lets you stream wherever. And I'm not sure if that's because like TikTok became a thing and TikTok lives, and so maybe they're like, oh yeah, stream to TikTok live, bring people here. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't allowed for a long time, and I think they just started allowing it. Like, people did it, but like it was partners, right? Twitch partners were definitely getting in trouble for that. So like, yeah, yeah, it's kind of recent. Um, like affiliates, I don't think they care. Like I haven't heard of anybody, any streamers I know getting in trouble for like multi-streaming. But now I think because they're partnered with, like, Twitch is partnered with Stream Elements. Maybe that's another reason why they're like, hey, you have to allow like multi-streaming, because like that's a big feature now on Stream Elements. And it used to be a paid feature, now it's free, which is why I switched. I do recommend anyone who streams, I recommend checking out SE Live, Stream Elements Live. It's really good. I've used a bunch of, of course it's built off OBS, like so many others, but it used to be terrible like 2 years ago. It was really bad. But the new one's like really, really good. I'm impressed. I use Twitch Live too. That one's meh. I know I used Restream. I've used a few other things. But I'm working on this clip now, and I'm going to start working on the game. I've got a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, I don't like it. But I'm gonna keep it simple. So I've been doing like a lot of bug fixes. And I'll upload this to... And I just export it right now. And I'll upload it later. How you been, Dead Flame? I haven't seen you in a bit. I'm trying to stream more. I know I've missed a lot recently. Oh, there you go. What happened? Katie Bear, what's up? Thanks for the raid. I'm about to work on the game. I was making a clip. Yo, what's up, everyone? Thanks for the raid. Now I gotta snooze these ads. I'm sure y'all know about the our Koitsugi game. I'm working with Blind Cat Studios. Launch the game. Just making some social media posts here. Making some videos. Trying to do more. Katie knows that we definitely do not promote our game much at all. I'm the one that promotes the game, and besides Katie on her streams, but I handle like the Facebook, Instagram, and post there. I try to post there. I'm trying to post more. So I need to get Blind Cat to make a TikTok too, so we can start posting there. Because TikTok's it's getting it's definitely really good. So if you guys haven't seen the game, I'll showcase the game real quick. Let's see. Let me bring it up. I'll just play. I think I have a clip. Maybe. There you go. Let me pause the music. But I'm working with Blind Cat Studios, so um, I'm doing all the coding development. But this is a 2D action adventure game. You play as Ada, or female koi fish, whose like home has been invaded by this toxin. There's this toxin flowing in, and it's causing all the surrounding wildlife to become rampant and go on a rampage. So you venture out and you fight amongst other animals, different bosses, a lot of different creatures. You'll see concept art here. Um, all of them have been infected by this toxin. So you gotta fight your way up the river to find the source and remove the source and kind of save your home. Right. Yeah, the game's coming along really nicely. We'll be at Level Up Expo in 2 weeks, so I'll post that too on our Facebook channel. Let me get a shout out to Katie. You're awesome. Thanks for bringing all the homies. Yeah, if you guys, we also have the Discord. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, let me post our Steam link. There you can wishlist the game. Right, all the lurkers just slipping in. And then thought I had a Discord link. Let me see. Just says Blind Cat Studios Discord. Perfect. I'll have to get that. So you guys can join the Discord, see that like we never post there, so don't worry about like joining. I think when the game comes out, the plan is to have bug reporting there, and I think that's gonna be something nice. But lots of like small bugs I gotta fix. I've got a decent list today. What's that? So wishlist the game. Thanks everyone for jumping in. And I think also check out my links. I appreciate any additional support. You can check out my YouTube channel where I post RPG, mostly RPG Maker stuff, but I'm gonna start posting Unity stuff there as well. It's all game development tutorials and things like that. So, but I do have a list today. Let's see. Not that one. I think there's like 15 items here that I gotta complete. So, if you guys have any questions, let me know about Unity, game development, or this game, Koitsugi. Otherwise, my streams are mostly coding, so see, I wrote this bug twice, so that's fun. I think I did that already. I'll double check. Player enemy trigger is triggering attack blocks. I think I fixed that too. Steam Deck background issue. We'll come back to that and eventually figure that out. Trail and lose track. Player dash. Need a dash. From standstill. Remove that third bulb. I'm pretty sure I did that already. Boss follow through. I need to add that code. Freeze player on events. I need to add that code. Player takes damage from debris. Need to fix that. And Blind Cat has a few things to fix. And if he doesn't get to it, I'll get to it. I think he's gonna be streaming, right, Katie? Next week. Okay, all right, no worries. Take a nap. I'll catch you later. Appreciate the raid. So we're going to start from the top, see why this player is able to move out. I'll get my music playing again. Oops, sorry. Turn it down. Also have my website, guys, where I'm trying to start up a consulting contracting business for software and game development. So let me know what you think of the website. I think it's pretty good, but so the player is able to swim out of the water over here. We need to build a death zone too. I'm gonna bring that over here. right there. The player should have the same movement. Oh, but it doesn't have the ray cast. We were seeing some slowdowns, but I think we're going to try to tackle that next week. Just going to try to knock out these bugs. I don't think we'll have performance issues on the computer or on the build itself, so I'm not too worried about that stuff.
On the surface,
Nope, ads.
the parasite expects the doctor to heal them for free, the farmer to feed them out of charity. How little they differ from the pervert who prowls.
So if you're on Twitch, you're probably seeing ads. YouTube guys, you're lucky.
For his grotesque amusement.
Jump over to Twitch. Okay, let's see. So all the enemies have this ray vision component, and it detects water. And what this does is actually it tells the those objects to like move, right? It says you can't go that way. That's the end of the water, right? So previously, because we migrated our movement systems, it would do the same thing. It would detect it, but you could go out and it would like add gravity to you and it would make you fall. We don't do that anymore. Well, at least for the enemies. But that makes the player not affected by any gravity, and it doesn't detect the waters. So what we need to do is add the falling mechanic back in, and then have trigger these events, these unity events, so that the player falls. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. I have on entered water, on out of water. I think this is just an interface. Alright, that's fine. So let me get a new revision. Water. Revision. That was called water. There it is. You get the parent collider. Is that what we do? Show gizmos. I don't know. Layer should be water. And water. And so that should then trigger whatever. Our hits, right? Our raycast hits. Now, just like the enemies do, right? We have to actually implement this interface. So you can see the fish navigation has it. So I'll keep that open. We want something similar. So this has me a little bit concerned that this is a bug. Because fish navigation is a state. So technically if the fish attack, that won't trigger these events. Because all states would have to implement this. Write that down. Forget. I'm not going to do that now, but that could be an issue in other levels. So for the player, it's fine, because the player is not state-driven yet. So the player is gonna have this like player fish, this character fish script, and it's going to implement that interface. Ray vision. What's it called? Ray vision water. And we're gonna go and implement that. Cool. Don't think we use that. There's a lot here. Line cat audio classes. Alright, so those are our events. Out of water, on close to water bounds. But we're not really gonna do anything here. On into water. On back in water. So when we get back in the water, that's what we're gonna say, like, okay, you can't stop falling, essentially. And then when you're out of water, like, start falling. So this used to be here, but I think I deleted all that stuff. Oh no, it's still here. Let's make sure. Where's that stuff? Yeah, so it's just here. But what we want to do is when we're falling, it's going to update our movement. And uh, our movement is physics based, right? And I'm not sure if TG had this. Look like he has some kind of falling gravity, but it doesn't look like that was used anywhere. That's okay. So we have to get, let's see if the TG, yeah, there's like a falling gravity. What's up, man? Welcome, welcome. Did you come in with the raid? We don't have a falling mechanic anymore. Well, I gotta see what to do to add it to the movement. I think it's just the force multiplier. Yeah, but we still have to manipulate the movement, right? The movement component. No matter how many times I look at this, I forget which one's which. Why is there two of these? Yeah. I think the, let's see, let's check it out. So the player, yeah, rigid body, yeah, mass is 1, gravity is 0. So yeah, the gravity is 0, so yeah, just set that to 1. Maybe, oh, but I think keeping everything on the movement would be good. Did we sort that shader issue? No. Yeah, I think we're gonna try to figure it out. We might try to figure it out at the convention too, because we'll be able to work together. A little bit easier there. But and I'm gonna get a MacBook before then too. But yeah, it's a strange one. It's gonna be much easier to just work with the Steam Deck right then and there. We were going over some like gameplay stuff the other day or yesterday. We haven't really had time to get together on stuff, so. Okay, but I think what we could do is like keep it simple, right? We have the force force adjuster, right? We already have that movement here. Yeah. Yeah, this year's zooming by. I can't believe it's already April. It's like the middle of April too. I think the drifts. It's just an interface, right? Yeah, the I-force. Okay. So the player already has that. Video wizard, what's that? Welcome, welcome, yeah. Hope you enjoy it. Feel free to ask any questions. Working on some. I don't know if you've seen the Koitsugi game yet. I think you have a little bit, right? Do I have the movement ref here? Yes, I do. Just force factor. That's not right. So that is. Oh, you are an I-force adjuster. What? Oh, this is the force adjuster component. That's not what I was thinking. Let's see, what's the player? Player is. Do you have the force? Where's the force adjuster? It's on movement. And this is why the movement has its own glider. Lame. Lame. Okay. I should just be able to just call this function. And just treat it like a well, let me make a new script. So I want to make it like a, I don't know, I guess a falling component. And then I'll call it. Trying to think, see if because anything out of water should just have gravity. So maybe it should just be part of the force adjuster or the movement component. We have this adjust force factor. But the drift does not use that. It uses adjust force. Oh no, it does too. Well, that just applies a direction. Oh, you're applying the drift speed there to the direction. Alright. Yeah, if I want a falling component... Now I'm thinking, like, I don't want a falling component, right? That should just be part of movement. Or, not that one, the movement biaxial. Oh, but I'm using this to actually tell the enemies to move in different directions. I'll keep it there. I gotta come back and think on that. So that's gonna require more changes. The movement system, man, sometimes gets on my nerves. Not gonna lie, TG. I know I have been. I've been changing it. But I keep having to come back and change it more. It's just like adjustments towards like the game needs. Um, because the movement force adjuster is yeah, it's a subclass of movement. And that's different than because it's a movement component. So the movement and the movement component are I think are getting mixed up. Because see, this one accesses it. See, the drift is accessing it directly, right? Because it's a subclass. But that's not how some of the other components are working. And I think that's what I think that's why I was like looking at it funny. Every time I look at the some of the movement stuff, I'm just like wait, I gotta refresh my memory on like what does what. And so let me see if I can write it out. And this would be like similar to the force adjuster component. Let's see. See if I can get my thoughts out. Let's see. So this would just be like a component. I'm trying to be more organized. I'll show you what I mean. I'll write it out. So this is gonna be like a new. Maybe I can just call it like a gravity component. But that like means I might come back to this. It's more thinking than I wanted to do on this. No, just the falling component in general. So, because everything should have gravity, right? Everything should have gravity, except when you're in water, right? And those things, and I think maybe it's just going to be something that are on the fish. The fish should have some gravity components so that when they leave water, they are hit by gravity, right? But what I was saying is like this drift, because it's a subclass of not the drift, a force adjuster component is a subclass of movement component. It accesses the adjust force factor directly, but a lot of the other scripts for movement events, they don't access, right? They don't access it this way. They access it through the movement, right? So they'll say like, the input system, right, says on movement, and that will update the actual method for the movement component, right? So everything is, I didn't realize the current drifts was set up like that. So everything is set up to access the movement, right? Not the movement component. Like the movement is what handles the changes, I guess. open up this script. So this one's gonna act like the update, the drift, right? It's just gonna be a public event or public function. And we could just say like turn it on, turn it off, right? And but this I-force adjuster, right? This one was looking for that. Two or three. What's gravity? 7.8. Doesn't the movement have to access the rigid body though? Yeah, it does. And so like I'm not talking about like how the what the movement necessarily does. It's the how other components are communicating to movement, right? And so I guess like the drift system's like the only thing. We have like the input system and the and there's like other things like stun, right? Stun, freezing, they all would say, you know, right here. So this movement component, or this movement, I'll just say movement class, right? Because the input actions access this, right? So all my other scripts are set up the same way, where on movement, update input, or set move speed factor and such, right? Update input, you know, this, all these invoke the movement component, right? This, right? But I didn't realize the drift does not do that. The drift is accessing, because of the force adjuster, the force adjuster is accessing movement component directly not movement. But like the input system accesses movement directly, and the other scripts access movement directly. But the iForce adjuster, so I think that's why it's a little bit confusing to say. Oh dang, there's an ad. I didn't realize an ad was coming up. So the expectation I have, and this is how it works for the other scripts. I'll explain it when I come back from adding this. Is that this should be movement. Movement dot adjust force factor, not. Right, right. But it's how the current drift and the is accessing that, right? Or I should say like the force adjuster component is accessing that. Because it's a subclass of movement component. But I think that's just like maybe different thought processes on it. Because I'll show you like the slight adjustment that's I think this means, right, that you end up having two movement components. And clarify me, like, let me know if this is not correct, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. That means we have two movement components on the player, or anything that's affected by drift, right? You have, I keep losing it. The iForce adjuster is a movement component, right? And you have the player. You have the movement. So iForce adjuster is a movement component, and then the movement biaxial component is also a movement component, right? I think that's what I'm trying to clarify. So, yeah, so these two components both offer the same functions, right? They both manipulate things the same way, and then they both try to communicate with this component. No, you wouldn't have a movement script and then the type of movement. And then other components that affect the movement. Oh, that you would have other components? Yeah, and I think Right. Yeah, I think that's just how I was thinking about accessing. So when we're talking about like access to this component, this movement here, um, and I wasn't thinking about it like that, um, because the force adjuster can technically, right, it can do the same thing the um, biaxial movement can do. Yeah, I've been accessing everything through um, where is it? Yeah, I have been accessing everything through like movement, right? Um, because that's how the input system works, right? The input system does access the movement system, right? So I thought that was the intention. And your biaxial uh, movement, right? The movement, and that's what drives the biaxial movement, right? Right, right. Which is why like this movement script, that why I've been extending it to have like the freeze and the unfreeze and the checks for like if it's frozen. Um, so this gravity component would be because I think because we'll be mostly underwater, uh, and so a lot of our objects will have like zero gravity. So we don't use gravity in the game like, at all. Um, I think because we're a fish, right? So, but like, I think there's gonna be like crabs and stuff like that. They will probably like let's have like a sync. Oh, this goes into like what I was trying to bring up to talk about like access to movement, right? Um, and the force adjuster. Um, because they're doing the same thing, but I think um, it's doing like movement. Where is it? Adjust. It's doing like adjust force factor. Where's this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can test it. Watch. I'll show you what happens. Um, because you have to understand that your movement, right, is the movement system is overriding like the player's controls, right? Because it's also using force. So you have to you end up having to like set the movement to 0, right? You have to stop the player completely and then turn on gravity, and then gravity applies the force down, right? So we'll say, okay, so it's easy enough, right? So let's go to our character fish and let's go ahead and access the uh, rigid body. I think, do I have that access? Yeah, I do. Okay. So we're just gonna set it to and we'll say right, should be 0, yeah. No, the rigid body doesn't. The movement does have a rigid body, right? Yeah, and it's the same thing, right? And so, um, again, that goes to about like accessing things, right, through movement. And again, like it gets confusing because we have a movement script, right, and then we have a movement component, and um, and so again, you have two, there's two components, right, that are subclassing from movement components, and that's not the same thing as movement, right? But the input system accesses movement, right, directly. Okay. That's why I thought it was confusing when I was reading this now, is that um, we have two movement components, right? We have two of these. But technically the but technically so is the movement, right? The movement is also accessible because the input system does it, accesses it, right? The input assesses movement, not movement component, right? And then drift accesses movement adjuster here, which then accesses movement, right? So technically nothing. Um, so the input system accesses movement, which then communicates to movement, right, biaxial. So let's see. And let's click on the player. Let's see. So gravity should. So this is what happens, right? Because technically, so if we end up freezing movement, right? Because we would have to set movement to 0 as the player like gets out of the water. They're gonna be able, like, they're not gonna move, right? Right. But that's what's happening here, right? We just got to increase gravity, but let's see. And let me see. That's what I mean. Like, we can't set movement factor to 0 because that stops the player movement, right? That stops player input. No, there's only one. There's only one rigid body. Movement accesses the one on player. Yeah, this is the player script right. So I don't think this is doing anything because you're talking about setting move speed factor, right? So if we set move speed fast factor, should be able to do that here. Speed. And we set that to 0, right? I'll set move. But this controls like player input, right? And so the players once they leave the water, they're not going to be able to move. And then you think you still want. I guess if you're setting the move speed factor to 0, then you don't need to do anything with the force adjuster. Should set that to 0. Right. So, and then you would set this back to 1. Right. But that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure if we set that to 0, this is what I was trying to say earlier. If you set it to 0, you're not going to be able to move. Oh, you can still move. Okay. Oh, and then the gravity component would be this. This would be the gravity component, which is why I'm making it separate. Because everything should have gravity other than like our fish. But I thought, I guess not. I thought that if we set the move factor to, oh, it's a speed multiplier. No, I thought that was the same thing. That is the speed multiplier, right? Yeah. But I thought if we set the, obviously that's not what's going on. I thought they set, yeah, that does set the speed. Yeah, okay, that's weird. I'm not sure why we're able to move now. Because I was pretty sure that we would just stop moving in, like, in general. Um, but no, not, yeah, not instantly, um, but like if we reduce that, where is that? Like 4. But yeah, I thought setting this to 0 would stop our movement altogether. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to do. No, I think I was. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the. Let's see. No, I am moving, right? Well, I think I'm keeping my. Maybe that's the thing. I'm just keeping my force, right? Because I'm not adjusting the rigid body's force in any way. So yeah, so that's so this is our gravity component. Um, yeah, I was able to move so much, but I think yeah, the gravity was just so light, I guess. think I actually might move that here. Either that should be okay. And then that way we can actually, let's see, we could control, like, say the crabs, right? They could sink. But we'll mess with it some more. I definitely think I can make this across. See. Feels a little better. But yeah, that goes into the question I had earlier, which was that because the I-Force adjuster is also subclassing from movement component, uh, that it also, um, it enables all these functions. And disables them. So that's okay. I think you can, if you know what I'm saying, like, because yeah, I'm accessing the movement directly here. Without subclassing from the movement component. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. I know it's hard to explain because everything's called like movement, so. But I think that's why I went away from this, because I didn't want to have all these movements, and you add all these extra handlers, you know. And so now this gravity component will just be, which could be just like the force adjuster, right? I mean, is that like a, because it's adding all these events, right? I was just not too familiar with like memory wise. Like, I mean, obviously it's probably not a concern, but and then when we actually add the jump component, you know, that's going to be its own thing too. It probably wants. See you in a bit. Why I'm like, I wonder if that's the particles there.
On the surface, the parasite expects the doctor to heal them for free, the farmer to feed them out of charity. How little they differ from the pervert who prowls the streets looking for a victim he can ravish for his grotesque amusement.
think that's what I'm seeing. I'm just getting pushed up here by the jets. I don't like this. I don't know if that's the jets causing that. It's definitely like stopping me from going. I'm gonna mess with the jets now too, just to confirm that. So all these just need to be like longer. We should do is that should play as long as the water jet I do have access to it already. So particle system. So I'll use the timer to thanks for hanging out, TG. I think no, it's definitely like always good input. I know we can think about some things differently, so let's see. Just gonna reformat all that stuff. So I think there's a time. Animate up. So it takes 1 second to animate, but I think I'll just do it on start. So that's particle system. Oh no, you're not annoying at all. Not at all. So that is serialized field. Serialized field. it? Is it time? I forget. Duration. I think that should be the time. Yeah, okay. Deprecated. No? You just say something can be affected by force, but it doesn't naturally move. No point in having biaxial or linear movement. True. True. I see. I see what you mean. Yeah, like we can have like sinking rocks or something, and then they're getting like drifted away by the currents and whatnot. But I think that's why I access everything to the movement, not through the biaxial movement. You know? Right. is weird. That's weird. Let's see if that works though. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I see, yeah, that the movement components biaxial and the linear ones are meant for that. But just seeing I think the force adjuster, and I think it's just because it's subclass from movement component, um, and how it, that's how it accesses movement. Uh, oh, what? Oh no! Unity just crashed on me. No freaking way! Oh, dang it! Am I still live? God dang it! I don't remember what I saved. Yeah, too much movement. I can't believe it just crashed on me. It'll do that randomly. Like, I was like not even doing anything. I just saved a script. It was just recompiling. And it's like, not today. So you've been working too long. That's okay. That's like one good thing about my OBS kind of messed up, so. Okay, let's see. So let's see if those readjust. At least that's one good thing about the scripting, everything. Like, I save this, right? It's just gonna rebuild later anyways. My OBS is all messed up now. Thanks, Unity. Okay, let me see. Okay, that does look like it worked. So if you guys haven't seen already, let me move the character a little bit. I've made this like so much easier. I think players are gonna like it now. I think it was just way too hard before. We have open up Twitch too, because OBS is all messed up now. Okay, so you guys can see that a little bit more. So it's like way easier because I don't know why I'm trying to attack it. So now you can, now you can see all this stuff. And all I did was, change the physics a little bit on this piece here. Oh, you can't see? Oh, what the heck? Oh, YouTube's working and Twitch is not. Oh, what the heck? No freaking way. Hold on, let me see. That's crazy. Can't believe YouTube's working just fine. YouTube didn't get messed up, but my default canvas got messed up. Hold on, I might have to. Somehow everything got moved. My webcam's good, but I don't know what happened. Just like moved everything. Everything got moved off screen. Yeah, that's weird. Everything just got moved, which is why you couldn't see anything. I don't know what happened. Okay, well that was a good run, and you guys missed it. Only the YouTube people saw it. I'll do it again. I like nailed it too. That's exactly why I have to check my stream. So, dang, not a perfect run this time. But I hate the shape of this dang thing. I always go over it. So now, like, now that it like floats there, the particles, the jets just, they hang there longer, it's so much easier. And I did make some changes. I really think it is because I'm streaming, I have so much stuff going on, but when I'm not streaming, I hit like 100 frames. But, we gotta check the boss level out too. Think. Have some new game object here, and then dead zone. I wish there was a way to increase the font of Unity. So, play around. Oh, I don't have a sprite. I was like, why can't I see it? You're gonna have a little, like, dead zone here. So if the player accidentally gets brought out, they'll just die. Dennis was able to do it, so... Nope. And... what is this? Die on take damage. Oh, pixel crushers. Touch of damage. And all we're just gonna do is like 1000 damage. And that should do it. Let's remove that. Trigger. Alright, let's test it. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Oh, I'll probably stream for maybe 30 more minutes. Let's see. Oh no. And that's how you get stuck. Why are you not dying? Oh, because I think touch of damage is not trigger based, it's collision based. Yeah, it's collision based. I think area of damage is... do I not have one for triggers? Well, I guess I'll just update you. We're gonna want a... I think we're just gonna want a component. Say the eye damage. collision. What is this? I never knew why Unity does that. It says collision and collision. I'll say collider. So this one, let's see. So we check if it's the player. 2. And then the dealt damage passes collision data. Go see who to raid. Let's see who it is. Thanks, Katie, for the raid. Appreciate it. Let's see. Thanks, TG, for hanging out. Dead Flame. Who else was in? Video Wizard. Thanks for hanging out. We got. I haven't rated Science before. We can go raid him. Pretty cool dude. It's a science channel. Do a lot of talk about a lot of science. I've only seen this stream a few times, usually only for a few minutes. So just go show him some love. I think he just started streaming, so he should be good. Go check him out. Cool. Right, I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out.